Picture this. It's your turn in a rap battle, and right before going on stage, you find out that you have to go to the one place you swore you would never go back to your hometown, Kacken under Havel. That's right, it's that kind of story. Hey there, if this made you curious, let me tell you what we're talking about. This is Crap Happens or Kacken under Havel, the original German title. And in case you don't speak German or haven't figured it out, well, basically, let's say Tony comes from shit down. Now, for a bit of context, the show dropped on Netflix on 26th of February 2026, and it has 9 episodes, around 35 minutes each, and rating-wise, it has 6.3 on IMDb, which is basically an average score. Not too good, not too bad. And I've watched some good German shows before, and Netflix shows in general, so naturally, I got curious. So, what I can say is this is an honest review of the person who is trained professionally to be a couch potato. Meet Tony. Tony is a wannabe rapper who moved to Berlin over 15 years ago to find fame and money. And instead, he now works a shitty job at a pizza place. And not only that, but he lives in the Keller, the basement of the pizza place. But that actually checks because we all know the rent prices these days, right? Once again, Tony trials his luck in a freestyle rap battle in Berlin against a crowd full of Gen Zs. The guy Tony battles is half his age and he absolutely roasts him. He calls him old, he calls him expired, and of course, he finishes his roast with a mother related insult. But here's the thing, right before Tony went on stage, he got a phone call from his sister who said that their mother passed away and he needs to go back home. So, are you telling me that not only does Tony have a bad job and he lives in the Keller, now he needs to go back to Kacken under Havel? Yep, this is definitely a shit show. But despite all these things, Tony takes everything going through his mind and channels it into the best rap battle of his lifetime. Everyone is speechless and he drops the mic, leaves the stage, destination Kacken under Havel. Now listen, there are a lot of over the top moments in this show. Very cringy, childish, very unserious, and we are going to talk about them. But for now, let's go back to Tony. So Tony gets back home to Kaken and he is reunited with his family that consists of his 3 sisters. His older sister Nancy, who is the chief of police in Kaken. Tony also has 2 twin sisters who each run a junkyard and a driving lesson school. And then there's Johnny Carrera. Johnny Carrera is Tony's mom's lover, but here's the problem. Johnny is much younger than Tony, yet he still acts like a father figure. A very cringy one, that's for sure. But what about the funeral? Well, the funeral is an absolute disaster because, first of all, the funeral home is run by Yana, who is Tony's ex. While people are giving eulogies, Tony is also reunited with his high school best friend, a guy who starts talking about the fantasies he had of Tony's mom, and he gets really touchy. It's definitely an awkward moment. And then there's also a teenager randomly playing the keyboards in a corner, something that pisses Tony off very much. But back in Berlin, surprise, surprise, a music producer heard Tony's freestyle. And not only that, but she is now looking for him. So she shows up in Kaken in a helicopter because, of course, why wouldn't she? And she asks Tony if he has any music and offers him the chance of his lifetime. Finally, Tony has been discovered. So then Tony says yes, and he is very happy to share his latest song. No, that's not how it happened. See, there is one tiny problem. Tony has never finished a song. Not one. The man moved to Berlin over 15 years ago for a music career, and he has never completed a track. The music producer tells Tony that she is going to wait for a finished song for 2 weeks only because she has a short attention span. So Tony jumps into his mom's tow truck and he's ready to go back to Berlin and ready to finally make it. When, of course, life says, absolutely not. Remember that weird keyboard teenager from Tony's mom's funeral? Yep, that's Charlie. Charlie is Tony's son. And Charlie's mom, the funeral director, she has left town for 2 weeks, so Tony has to take care of him. But what about the song? What about the rap career? That is the dilemma that Tony finds himself in at this point. Go to Berlin and chase your lifelong dream, or stay in Kacken and take care of the son you just met. What if there is a way he can do both? What if he can also stay in Kaka and take care of his son and write the best rap song ever written in history? I'm sure we all know this is a recipe for disaster, and this is what makes this show even better because I kept wondering myself every time I watched a new development of the story. Is this real? Are they for real? Is this satire? Is this the worst show I've ever seen? Because the show constantly plays with younger generations, attention spans, and they even pull a joke on Netflix themselves. There are two moments where they literally use the Netflix intro sound as a punchline, instead of the badumts. And I kept thinking, did they pitch this to Netflix as satire and Netflix didn't realize? Or is Netflix in on the joke? Here are some examples. Representation. The mayor of Kaken is a woman who has been undisputed as a mayor for more than 10 years. The show also portrays a lot of jobs typically associated with men but taken by women. Jobs like tow truck driver, oop, the sun. Jobs like tow truck driver, sheriff, or chief of police, mechanics, driving school instructors. In real life representation, it's natural, it happens organically, it's normal. But in the past few years in Netflix shows, it has felt like a checklist, like something they just completed. Yay, now we have diversity in our show. The AI baby duck. Listen, hi, my name is Andrea. I've survived Man vs. Baby, produced by Netflix with Rowan Atkinson, and the AI baby with full teeth at 7 months. So when I saw that this show has an AI baby duck, I was a bit, but then the baby duck is cute. So I guess I could take it. That's fine. It's harmless. We can move on. Nostalgia. This show, it looks like it came straight from either the 80s or the early 2000s. I mean, the outfits, the tech, the aesthetic. Charlie literally has a Walkman and everyone else dresses like they're in 2005, which is great if that's what you like, but it's not 2005. So coming back to the clothes, I kept thinking, is this intentional? Is this a parody? Is this a commentary of Gen Z's, millennials, Gen Alpha? Or am I just trying to give this show too much credit? Cinematography. Now, I feel like this is where the show got me because I really loved the cinematography. First of all, the show was filmed in Poland, not Germany. So again, I was thinking, is this actually the joke? Netflix choosing cheaper locations, but still pretending it's somewhere else? I still remember when they tried to sell Bucharest as Moscow in. Like I said, visually, the show looks great. Some shots immediately reminded me of Edward Scissorhands. There are a lot of bold colors. There is an artificial vibe. It looks like everything was just painted cardboard. Wes Anderson. You know that train shot when Tony goes into Kaken? That was so simple and it was so quiet and it somehow reminded me of Grand Budapest Hotel or something of this energy. Of course, there are the classic movie tropes in cinematography as well. We have the explosion reflected in the sunglasses, we have the glowing briefcase moment, you know the ones. Exploding babies. And the storyline is just chaos. It reminded me of Home Alone. It reminded me of Air Buddies, the movies with the golden retrievers who compete in snowboard competitions, that type of movies. Honestly, it also reminded me of the play I wrote in sixth grade. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it's all over the place, but somehow it's still enjoyable. So, What is this show? Um, Honestly, I still don't fully know. I know that it's entertaining. I know that it's chaotic. It's either self aware or self humorous and genius. It's also not subtle. It's not polished. It's not very serious, but it is very watchable. And I feel like it is perfect for a rainy day or for when you're sick and you just want to binge watch a show in a day. You just want something that doesn't require a lot of thinking. It only just exists. You might forget the plot, you might forget the characters, but there is one thing you will always remember, and that is a German curse word.
Kacke. Aber du musst zur Beerdigung kommen.
Listen, I had fun watching it. It was fun. I would give it a 6. I feel like the IMDb rating was not far. I would also give it a 6, 6.5. It's just a show to watch on a rainy afternoon. I watched it when I was sick.